Denver's Union Station is at the center of a crime and drug problem. Tonight, the mayor admits they moved it there when they closed down Civic Center Park. If pushing people on the streets from spot to spot worked, well, then Denver would have solved homelessness. If jailing everyone found with drugs would end addiction, well, then America would have won the war on drugs. But instead, Colorado finds itself in need of some more useful and thoughtful approaches to those difficult problems. First to Union Station, where RTD today outlined changes to security and cleanups. It puts a struggling transit agency right at the forefront of solving what's a societal crisis. Here's Anusha Roy.
In the heart of Denver, police have made more than 1,000 arrests between November 1st and Sunday for drugs, trespassing, outstanding warrants, seizing 17 guns, most of the time in the bus terminal and train platforms near Union Station. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock says that it did start getting worse after Civic Center Park was temporarily shut down last fall because of health and environmental risks.
Absolutely. We know that they moved to Union Station, so we're not lost on what happened here. We saw a lot of the same people that we moved here from Civic Center to Union Station.
But it was RTD today.
The question came to me, what are you going to do?
That announced a series of security and cleaning changes because the bus concourse has deteriorated so much, where there's drug use, folks in need of mental health services, and people experiencing homelessness mixed in with people trying to get to places.
The ceilings and walls are also being cleaned. Burned out lamps have been replaced.
RTD, which is obviously focused on transportation, is now trying to help solve safety and public health issues.
Public transportation is interwoven into the fabric of a community. So recognizing there are going to be residual impacts to public transit, we do need to be at the table.
But at the same time, RTD knows it cannot be the one solving these deep-rooted problems.
But I am not a mental health care clinician nor a social worker.
They do have a responsibility for security. They're part of the security puzzle, but the social services is just a very specialized focus.
The union representing RTD employees and RTD itself said that's why it is critical they're pairing up with Denver police, the city, as well as different community groups.
Unless you address those, you typically are just going to move the problem around.
Mayor Hancock said the issue cannot be pinned on one agency to solve, which is why they partnered with police and RTD to come up with their plan to protect the city's transportation hub.
It greatly impacts people's sense of safety and security. And of course, our downtown thrives on people coming and keeping downtown vibrant.
Those partnerships we were just talking about, they become even more important because some of the biggest changes that RTD is talking about, that's going to take a while, right? One of the big ones, setting up paid fare areas so only people have the right fares and tickets will be allowed in. They kept talking about how that's going to be one of the big changes. It's also going to take a while to build that infrastructure and get that up and running. So, in the meantime, it is going to be those partnerships and the beefed up patrols in those areas that are going to be really important.
So, I mean, this is a bus terminal that's at the center of this right now in that underground area. I feel like if this was a different transit hub, if this was the airport, like they would have figured it out like that, you know?
Mayor Hancock actually brought up that exact analogy, saying we have to almost treat it more like DIA, right? If somebody's there who's not traveling, you're going to say, well, what are you doing here, right? He wants to apply that same philosophy to Union Station to hopefully increase the security and make it safer there. And when we talked to RTD today, I mean, they, like you were mentioning, they have their whole host of their own issues. They've got staffing shortages, things like that. And they're saying they're relying very heavily on these partners. And one of them is going to be the state legislature, asking them to take a look at, resources and services to see where they can step in as well.
It's tough to say, but like if they push people out of Union Station, they're going to be displaced somewhere else. But at least at that point, we'd have a functioning transit hub for the city.
Right. Yeah, and that was the whole point of this. They were saying this is the city's front doorstep, and we have to figure something out. But we heard Hancock talk about it too. The people have been moving around the city.
Anusha, thank you.